You were speaking to an advisor that's on the precipice and you're sitting there, like it sounds like you guys did for a little bit, and they're like, shouldn't I do a podcast? Like, what guidance or experience share would you like to share with those advisors?
Yeah, I think, I talked to a couple podcaster friends, including Joe Saul-Sehy of Stacking Benjamins before I started, right? Just to get their advice and try to, piggyback on their learnings. And one piece of advice, even from the gal who does our website, she's like, I'm not creating a separate website for this podcast because you're not going to stick with it. Most people do like 10 episodes and then they stop. I was like, well, shoot, no, I'm not. I'm going to prove her wrong, right? So we did go in committing to do at least a full year of it, right? I think that's important because if it's just a flash in the pan idea and then you fizzle off, right, then you haven't spent your time wisely. And we have an editor, right? Like I know advisors who do their own audio editing and they geek out on it and they really love it. And that's a fun way for them to spend an evening. No, thank you. We have an awesome editor. We send him the files. He does his magic. We'll even talk to him in the middle of like, hey, Zach, you need to cut that part out. And can we move this part to the front? And like he does his thing. That's awesome. I'm very happy to pay him, his, to me, reasonable fee. So I think finding those different people who can do the pieces that maybe you don't want to do. Maybe you've got someone on your team who would really like to dig into this and find out about it and understand about, Libsyn and the, SEO and all those things that I don't understand. Like Zach does all that for us. So that was a good find for us. And it took a little while to find him. And then we'd also had kind of like 10 episodes outlined out before we started. Like people are like, what are you going to talk about? I'm like, how can you run out of things to talk about? Right? What we do is so multifaceted with clients. There are so many aspects to what we can bring to clients. And if your podcast is going to be kind of 20, 30, 40 minutes long, you can't cover much in one episode. Like I can't imagine how people run out of things to say personally. And then we did.
Me neither, Stephanie.
Right? Yes, Candace. And then we decided we wanted to alternate between having guests and just being the two of us. So we kind of set that up front. So I think, some of those decisions were helpful, and then just go. We also decided just to do twice a month instead of every week, because the other advice I got was like, don't pick a cadence that you can't stick with, because that'll disappoint your listeners and then you'll lose them. So twice a month works for us at the moment.